Hey, Her Nation. Welcome to another channel of Carla's channel, Heart to Heart Inspiration Podcast. I am your host, Carla J, the Queen of Inspiration. And today we have another great guest for you. We have Apostle Dr. Veryl Howard, and she is an ambassador, author, film producer, and music artist manager. So you all go ahead and put your hands together and let's welcome to the stage Apostle Dr. Veryl Howard.
Hey, Carla J. How are
Hey,
you?
I am blessed and highly favored, as they say. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So happy to be here with you this evening. I hope my friends jump on so we can get some good discussion and questions going on. But I am just so grateful to be in the number for you to have opened up your platform for me to be here tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate you because you are one busy woman. Y'all, ambassador, author, film producer, music artist. We're going to get into all of her business in just a minute. But I want to say if you have not subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button and put your notifications on. This woman is on a mission, y'all. I'm telling you, she has been on so many podcasts. You're going to find her everywhere. She's promoting her film, her book, and also just her life lessons about life and love. And I love the name of her book, which she's going to tell us about. And it's called God, Please Wake Up My Adam. I never, that is unique within itself. So let's get it right into it. For our audience members, please go ahead and put in the chat where you're calling from so we can interact with you. And don't forget to send your questions in. All right.
Yes.
She is ready to answer questions, y'all. So
I am, except can I tell you this, Carla?
yes.
They can't ask my weight, no my age. Okay. Look, I'll get my credit score before I will my weight and my age.
I love that. Now, y'all got the rules now. Don't ask her weight and don't ask her age. Okay.
Yes.
So we are so happy to have you. And so let me just jump right into it. There's a version of you that the world sees. And then there's a version of you that was just trying to survive. And I don't know how long ago that was, but who were you then? Who was she then when you were just trying to survive?
I'm still trying to survive. What you talking about? There's different realms to this stuff.
Yes, it is. Yes.
There's different realms that we're in different times. The way I was trying to survive back then is a little different right now. You know, prices are higher, gas is higher, house note is higher, you name it.
Yes. Yes.
But at any state of the survival methodology, I've been the same worshiper, the same server, the same prayer warrior, the same person trying to trust God in spite of what I see in the atmosphere. Now, I must say there were times in the past where I may have wavered.
Okay.
Because it looked like, is this really going to come to pass? Are you really going to do this miracle? Are you really going to get me out of this situation? Are you really going to bless me like you said? Are you really going to fulfill my promises? Are you really going to heal my body?
Right.
So I might have wavered a little bit, but I always came back around to the fact that there's nothing I can do. So there's no need of me wearing. There's no need of me getting uptight. There's no need of me questioning God. No need of me doubting, because at the end of the day, he's the only one who can get me out of the situation.
That's so true. Thank you for sharing that. And I know I heard you before talking about you had some trials with your health, and I know you just mentioned it. Tell us a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
I don't mind. I told you we have two things you can't talk about. So I don't mind. I don't mind my health or anything like that. Well, from a child, I was born crippled. Came out my mama's womb crippled. And I just bless God because my parents had surgery done on me to straighten out my legs, and I wore little, corrective shoes. I couldn't wear the cute little shoes that went through your toes like most little girls because my feet were jacked up, my legs were jacked up. And so God straightened me out, through my parents who put me in ballet, tap, jazz, Hawaiian stick, horseback riding, karate,
Wow.
ran track. Okay, and that
Mhm.
was a result of the Lord who used my parents and put in their heart to have me operated on. In addition to that, I had my eyes swung out all over the place. That's
Mm.
called exophthalmia. You know how you see people's eyes wide, you know,
Mhm.
you looking at them and you don't know where they looking, but you look at
Right.
it. And I prayed and prayed and prayed. I wore glasses from a little girl. I had bifocals when I was really, really little. When bifocals weren't popular, I had them. And
Mm.
so I prayed and asked God to straighten out my eyes. But as I became an adult, I did go through, I'm a very healthy person generally, but
Mhm.
as I became an adult, I ended up with precancer cells.
Mm.
And it's really a sad story. So I don't want to tell the whole story, but um, pretty much I had those cells and they had to check me, you know, every so many months or whatever. And
Mhm.
it was pre-cancer cells in my uterus, you know, in
Okay.
that part of my body, my female portion. And so the Lord healed me.
Okay.
He healed me. I remember I was in an airport, and back that time, people could walk you up almost to the gate.
Mhm.
And I was dating a professional athlete. Yep, I'm not ashamed of it. I used to like me some pro football players. Let me take my glasses off for that one. What?
Okay, you said clock it, clock
I had to
it.
take my glasses off for that one because the Lord know I used to have a thing for some pro football players. But I was dating one and we both got saved. And he had prayed with me in the car before he walked me up to the gate. And I said, hold up, I got to go to the bathroom. And I went to the bathroom and clumps of dead cells dropped out of me. And I put my
Mm.
hand down there, had it in my hand, walked out the bathroom, showed it to him. And I said, the Lord told me he has healed me of cancer.
You showed it to him in the
I
airport.
in the airport. I was trying to get a plastic bag or something because I was taking that home with me as a souvenir.
Wow.
Going to be
Wow.
boarding my plane.
Mhm.
And so I said, wow, God. And so after that, you know, let's go on. I get saved and get into the Lord and all of that. I didn't know I was going to become a target for the enemy.
Okay.
I didn't know my prayer life was going to make me a target. I didn't know as God was escalating me up the spiritual ladder in my assignments from minister to reverend or pastor or elder
Mhm.
or apostle. I didn't know this stuff got deeper. I didn't know the closer I got to God, the more I was going to be under attack. I didn't know. I
Right.
didn't know this because I didn't grow up in nobody's church. I was a heathen. I didn't know what apostle was. I didn't even understand prophecy until I started saying things of the future and dreaming. And I had to talk to Dietrich Haddon's mama, Prophetess Joyce, and ask her what on earth is going on with me because I'm weird. And
Okay.
so I started getting hit with
Mm.
warfare,
Mhm.
serious warfare. So I
Okay.
went to the chiropractor one day as a result of injury that I had when the football players pushed me down a flight of steps,
Wow.
jacked up
Really?
my yes, jacked up my vertebral column. And my chiropractor at that time, who was a Christian, he said that if I had not come there in time, I would have been turning like this. I wouldn't have been able to turn any other way because 6 of my vertebral columns were shut and they were impinging on my nerves. And I lived in constant pain in my back because they were just resting on my nerves.
So
And
was this an abusive relationship that you were
it
in?
was because he slapped me
Mm.
down and he dragged me down them steps. It was
Mm.
abusive. And so that was before I was saved. You know, I wasn't doing holy things. And so recently, you know, saved and everything else, I prayed. I said, God, I need a chiropractor to work with me in my back. Even though God healed me, walk, I can run or whatever, I'm still in pain.
Mhm.
So I met a Christian one, and he had been working on my back. And then went under a spiritual attack. I was dealing with. So you asked for this, Carla. You asked for it, so I'm gonna give it to you. You asked for it. I went through a
Mhm.
spiritual attack because where I was living, my neighbor was a believer. We used to pray all the time. There were two modern day witches that were living under me, and one used to collect
How did
wild black
you know?
cats.
How did you know they were witches?
I knew that God told me because He says
Mm.
something about a witch to live. You can. It's just something about a witch that's off. It's just even in the church, if a person is constantly going against the word of God or fighting with the pastor or the leaders, they need to check themselves because they could be operating under a witchcraft spirit. It's a
Mm.
rebellious type spirit. It's something about it. I could just tell them. And so she was collecting the black cats that were wild, feeding
Mm.
them and everything. And me and them black cats didn't get along. And those black cats used to sit at the door and monitor everything that we were doing when we come in, when we go out. And then when we go up the steps to my condo, which was on the third floor, it was 33 steps.
Mm.
My
33.
neighbor and I, she was walking down steps one day, and those cats jumped over top of her, tried to trip her up. Well, lo and behold, one day I was going up the steps. I had to pray for the city of Columbus, Ohio the next morning with the politicians. I tripped going up the steps.
Wow.
Jack my leg up, my hip up, my back up. I said, devil, you are a liar. I am going to Columbus, Ohio. I am going to fulfill my assignment. So
Mm-hmm.
I pretty much slid down the steps at 4 a.m. to get my lift, went to Columbus, Ohio to pray for that city, and limped all over the place doing work as God assigned me to do. I wasn't going to abort that assignment.
Okay.
Came home and was bedridden over 2 weeks.
Wow. But you got the assignment done.
Got
You
the
got the
assignment
assignment
done.
done.
Yes.
So
And
you've been
so
under a lot after you accepted, after you became saved. And
no,
so,
after I became saved and serious about serving God and being
mhm,
saved. It's a lot of people that say they out here saved, but they don't have a relationship with God. They ain't halfway hearing from God. They can be very carnal. They just
right.
like religiosity. I go to church somewhere. This no, 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 no,
I'm
no, no.
spiritual.
Yeah, I'm spiritual. No, when I got saved to the bone.
And that's
And
what I was going to ask you about. When you got saved and these things started happening, you, like you said, you felt like you were under attack, warfare. Did you ever feel like your gift was a burden instead of a blessing?
I didn't feel it was a burden. I never felt it was a burden, but I did feel overwhelmed by it.
Mm,
You know,
okay.
there's a difference between being overwhelmed and feeling it's a burden. I felt overwhelmed because let me tell you why. In the middle of the night, because I'm a prayer warrior, I used to get up, walk the streets of DC by my neighborhood and pray 3, 4 in the morning by myself.
Wow.
And I will be warring in the spirit against the activity in the neighborhood, praying for every house, praying for every mother, grandmother, husband, child, praying for everybody, the business, whatever. God, He will protect me. He will
I
protect me.
Yeah,
And
because that
while I
wasn't
was
no joke.
yeah, and while I was walking the streets and praying, God will reveal things that were going on to me in the spirit realm.
Hmm.
I can see the demons over top of the community. You see what I'm saying? I started seeing spiritual stuff. And I said to God, this too much.
Hmm. Hmm.
This too much. I said, please give me a break. He
Okay.
said, okay. So, prophet, I'm trying to show you some things so you can be more equipped when it comes to warfare, when it comes to the enemy, when it comes to how he moves out, how he attacks, how he binds his people up, how he troubles, how witches astro project in people's houses, all this stuff. He said, I'm trying to show you some stuff and you don't want it.
Mm.
So he took it away.
Wow.
He took
Forever? Temporarily?
No, ma'am, no, ma'am. I had to pray to get it back. I said,
Okay.
God, it took a while. I don't even think I'm where I used to be. I'm just being honest with you. Because I stepped in time one time, a couple of times. I stepped in time. I had to pray and ask God, please trust me with these supernatural gifts again.
Mm.
Please, I begged him. I said, God, I'll handle it right. I won't get tired. I won't get weary. I won't be
Mm.
scared. I won't be, I just begged to God. And so he started giving it to me little by little by little by little.
And how did that change your life? Because you changed your mindset, how did that change your life?
Well, it let me know I don't want to function without him
Mm.
in any capacity.
Hmm.
I definitely don't want to function without him. So I need him. I need him for this battle. I need him for this walk. I need him for strength. I need him to be victorious. I need him just in my everyday life. I don't want to function without him. And I sure enough don't want to ever tell him that stop it.
Okay.
Never, ever, ever will I do that again.
You learned your lesson from
I
that.
learned my lesson. I said, Lord, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. So yeah, it's something to think you can just be on your own. When I wasn't saved and didn't know him, I didn't know what I was missing. I
Okay.
was on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I know him, I saw how much greater it is on the other side. When you know God's got your back, He will never leave you, He will never forsake you, that God will protect you, He will cover you under His wings, that you make Him your habitation. No evil shall befall thee, no sickness shall come nigh thy dwelling. He'll give you power to tread upon the serpents and the scorpions. When I figured all that out, I said, Lord, I don't even know how I got here. How did I do this long by myself?
Right. Well, I do want to try to go in a little bit there because, sometimes things do happen to people that
Mm-hmm.
bad things do happen to good people
They do.
sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm reminded, of a young woman, and she told me, she said, why would God do these things to me? Why would God take my child? Why would God, you know, put me in this situation? And I think it's easier sometimes for people who are believers to say those things, but what would you say to that person who is questioning God and why things are happening to them as they are?
He'll never leave you nor forsake you. And a lot of these things that happen are not from God. He just allowed them to happen, just like with Job. When the enemy went to God on behalf of Job, he had to ask for permission to touch one of his servants. Job, who was a righteous man, who had no wrong in him, and he lost everything, his houses, his livestock, his family, the whole 9 yards. And he could have said, why, and stayed in the why state. He had to
Mm-hmm.
get out of Y state so God could bless him doubly. And I think the enemy wants us to question God. The enemy wants us to blame God. The enemy tries to get in our ear gates and taunt us and make us think that God wasn't there when we were going through the trial. And if everything was hunky dory all the time, how would your faith get activated? Because there's some things that the Lord allowed us to go through for the purposes of making us stronger, activating our faith, activating us trusting in him, relying on him, and the victory report that he wants to give us, that gives all the honor and the glory to him. How would we have a victory report if we never went through anything? How can we be a testimony if we never went through anything? And then another thing we have to do, we have to question, did we assist the enemy in taking us through?
Mm. Now, break that down for us.
Because sometimes we do things and we're in places we shouldn't be. We do things we shouldn't do. We kick it with people that God didn't even ordain us to kick it with. The Bible says bad company corrupts good morals. There are things that we do. Sometimes we're rebellious. Sometimes we're disobedient when God is telling us, go here today. Fast today, leave at this particular time, go pray with this person, go to the hospital. Sometimes we don't pay attention to God, so we cause this type of havoc on ourselves as a result of being disobedient.
Wow.
And then we
Wow.
want to say, God, why did you do it? Well, what
Mm.
part did I play in this? Well, he told me to wake up at 3, 4 in the morning, and he wanted to prepare me for the trial that wanted to try to attack me at 10 a.m. Well, he said fast for 7 days, and I decided I ain't doing 7, I'm going to do 2. But he gave me 7 because he knows what the enemy, because the enemy has to go to him to mess with you if you truly a child of God. So he knows what the enemy is trying to plot and plan to try to disrupt your day and your life. And he's trying to give you the antidote and the solution, but we don't follow his lead. And then we
And
want to
that's
cry and say, why did you let this happen to me?
wow. Well, that was a word right there. I want to take it back a step because, you said that you were a heathen. Those were your
I
words.
was.
You said you were a heathen.
I
So
was.
if your past self could see you now, what would she say?
Hmm. How'd you get there? It had to be the Lord.
Mm.
And she would also say to me, I didn't even know you were called to this.
Mm.
And she would say to me, if I knew you would call, maybe I wouldn't have done some of them things that I did.
Mm.
And she would say to me, you're a survivor. I'm
Yes.
proud of you. You overcame. She would say to me, it's nothing but God that got you through that mess that I put you in.
Wow. Can you share some of that mess or you don't want to go there?
Um, yeah, I mean, I've done my dirt, but you know what the crazy thing is? I was still a good person.
Okay.
I was still a good person. I had morals, I had values, I had all of that. But when I say I did my dirt, I did things, I sniffed cocaine here and there. I even sold it when I was in medical school. You
Okay.
know,
Okay.
I did little
That's
things, but
real.
I was
That's
still
real talk. That's real
yeah, I
talk.
did. I used to leave at lunchtime, and the students were like, my school was basically all Caucasian, that many of us black were up in there. And the students, unfortunately, did,
Mhm.
speed and coke and all that stuff because we had long hours. So one of the bad things I used to do, one of the other students, she would drive me to the area where the Puerto Ricans were, and they used to sell all this stuff. My
Mhm.
lunch break, I take the orders. My lunch break, I go and pick it up. And one time I was so crazy about getting it that the Puerto Rican guy, because I spoke Spanish, he told me, we're having a raid going on right now.
Wow.
I said, a raid? I said, listen, I got to get back to school by a certain time because I have class and I got to take this stuff and I got to drop. And it was signified by the colored tape, like blue tape, red tape, yellow tape, green tape. That
Mm.
determined how good the coke was. That determined how good the speed was. And so
Wow.
I said, well, listen, I gotta get back. I got people waiting. They gave me the, I gotta get back.
Mhm.
And so I kept getting up the car. Is the raid over?
Wow.
You see
Just
what desperation will make you do?
right.
You understand? I wasn't even thinking with a right mind. That's crazy to be sitting there and they telling me, no, don't come out your car. I was like, okay, will you come back? And I wasn't afraid,
Mhm.
nothing. I said, okay, will you come back to me when this thing is over? Because I'm on the clock. And he said, you might need to go home, go back to your med school, to your doctor stuff. Because they knew I was in school studying to be a doctor. And I
Wow.
waited. I waited until I could get what I came there for, even if it wasn't all of what I needed. I
Mhm.
waited. And I said, my God, I can't believe I did. I did so much coke that my poodle and I were both high.
Well, how was that?
I was speeding all the time, always, because I had to stay up all night studying, and I would take speed or whatever. And my brother and them used to come in the house, and the dog would just be running around the corner, running around the corner, running
Mm.
around the corner. And they said, "Did you get a dog some drugs?"
The dog is on one. Okay.
The dog was more hyper than me. They were like, "Did you drop some stuff up in the dog's food?" Because everybody swore that me and the dog were coked out. And I just sit back and I said, God, there are people who had aneurysms because of drugs. One of my friends
Right.
had an aneurysm. There are people who've had heart attacks at a young age because of
Right.
drugs. There are people whose
Right.
nose bleeds so bad because of drugs. And I thank God that I didn't get on that stuff like pipes and all that stuff,
Mhm.
that people did. Now they had this drug, you just stand up and can't, you never fall
Right.
over. They got next level stuff that
They
I,
do. They
I'm like,
do.
thank God that wasn't around when I was younger, but I still, I still know it was God. Because I remember one time, and I didn't like reefer because I was a model and always dancing and this, and reefer make you want to eat. So that wasn't my thing. But
Okay.
I remember one time, one of my relatives gave me some lace reefer,
Mm.
and another relative gave me some acid.
Wow.
I didn't know if I was coming or going. I stayed high for about 3, 4 days. Like I had to fight for my mind. And I
Mm.
called my brother, but I remember this is kind of funny. The house, I opened all the windows in the house. Nobody was home but me. I was tripping. Everybody was gone. My mama, daddy did all out of town, brother out of town. Opened up all the windows in the house. And there used to be my favorite song when I was a little girl called Sailing by Christopher
Mhm.
Cross. Sailing, take me away. I called
Mhm.
my brother up. I said, I'm on the boat sailing.
Wow.
I said, I'm hanging out the window sailing. I was
Woo.
high as a kite for like 3 days and I couldn't come down. I said, how do I come down from this high? Because this
Mm.
thing seemed like it's going to take me away from here. And when I
Right.
think about that stuff,
Mm.
I'm like, the Lord had to have his hand on me. He
Yes.
had to have a call on my life. When I think about that stuff, now, mind you, I was moralistically good. I just did some drugs here and there. But
Mhm.
he had to have his hand on my life to let me come out of that and even be on this platform talking to you about it.
Yes.
Hello,
Yes.
somebody.
Hello, somebody. And today, though, they got fentanyl, and that thing will take you out when
Fentanyl.
they lace this stuff. You know, like you
Mhm,
said, it's next level things that's going on.
mhm,
What would you
mhm.
say to the person that's fighting addiction right now?
Oh my God, that's a demon. That is a demon. Um, wow. I will tell them that God can deliver them. They don't have to stay in that state. It is a process. They need someone to who has a deliverance type of ministry to pray with them and pray against that substance abuse demon,
Mm.
and that God loves them more than they ever could have imagined. And they really have to. I know with me, my thing was coke. I didn't
Mhm.
get on no, like I said, free base or whatever. But I loved me some Coke now. And you get addicted to Coke. I
Mhm.
snorted Coke almost every day.
Mhm.
And I felt, and I was in my 20s, and I felt like if I kept doing this, I was going to die.
Mm.
I felt like that. And so even though I wasn't saved, I was like, Lord, help me get out this situation. And I was about as saved as this computer.
Wow.
But I felt, and I found out God hears sinners' prayers. I thought he didn't. He does hear sinners' prayers because there's
Yeah.
been times I prayed and I was in sin and he answered. And it
Yes.
wasn't the devil that answered, it was God. And I asked God to help me out of that situation. And I was not saved.
Mhm.
And I know that he heard my cry. And then I stopped hanging around people who did it. And
Mhm.
then I disconnected myself from anybody who supplied it. I
Okay.
had boyfriends who did it. You know what I
Right.
mean? We all go
Mhm.
sit in the basement and,
Right.
so I asked God to give me the strength to cut it off
Okay.
in my life and take the taste. Folk got to
Mm.
pray, whether it's beer, liquor, dope, fentanyl, whatever you want to call it,
Mhm.
any substance abuse, you have to ask God to take the taste and the appetite for it out your mouth. And
Right.
that's what I had to do. And I asked
Yeah.
God to change my taste buds.
All
And
right.
I never, once God healed me, delivered me, I never went back to any of that.
Oh, amen. That is awesome. That's a great testimony. I said, this is real talk. So I want to jump ahead, because you have so many great things going on. How did you become an ambassador? Is it to Australia?
No, it's a global peace ambassador. That means to the United Nations,
Mm.
which is 193 countries.
Okay.
Years ago, the Lord told me that uh, I was going to be an ambassador. I didn't know what type of ambassador, and there's different levels of ambassador. Because I talked to my friend today. She's a diplomat who she don't even have to have certain stuff that I have to travel.
Okay.
Her parents were diplomats to the United States, so she grew up under all of that. So you have different realms, different levels, different types.
Hmm.
I'm a global peace ambassador to the
Okay.
United Nations. So, us as global peace ambassadors, um, we're trying to do exactly that. Do things, philanthropy type things that will initiate peace between whatever country, city, whatever it may be. Like I just got an email from one of the ambassadors in London, and he hit me up and he said, I want you to take a look at what we're trying to do with the youth in Africa
Mm.
to
Wow.
help save these youth. and
Mm-hmm.
he wants me to be a part of it. And so he's a global worldwide peace ambassador. So he's in London, but a lot of his work is in Africa.
Wow.
And so then he'll grab some of us who have that heart
Mm-hmm.
and compassion for that country. Because even though it's 193 countries, that doesn't mean that you feel drawn to 193 countries.
Okay.
And so I'm just a person who has a heart for Africa. So he
Okay.
wants me to be a part of the work and the assignment that he's implementing as an ambassador in Africa. And you asked me, how did I become one? Because the
Right.
Lord had told me I was going to be one a long time ago. And I was like, how, when, what? Well, 20 some years ago, because I was already doing ambassadorship type work, going in different countries and doing missions work. And I was already doing it.
Okay.
And I just didn't think about it anymore. I forgot about it,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
You were
And then,
just going on your own to these different countries,
yeah,
and you
I
said, okay.
forgot about it. The guy that even told me, even said that to me. And
Mm-hmm.
then one of my friends is a global colonel ambassador. She's the only ambassador who's a colonel. She's the highest level of colonel in her country.
Wow.
And so she submitted me, and I had to go through training.
Okay.
And of course they do background checks and all of that to make sure you're not a crazy lunatic or anything like that. And then they presented me in Austria,
Okay.
yeah, last year in October. And I couldn't wait. Let me tell you something so funny. I was waiting I couldn't get my badges or anything without my background checks.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't wait for my badges. And my badges would take us so long to come. And so long. I found out somehow my paperwork, and that was the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow we got messed up with the address or something like that. And, and I needed all of that before I could even be presented in Austria. I needed those clearances.
Okay.
And so when I physically went to the place that was supposed to send me my stuff, and they were like, your stuff been cleared.
Wow.
I said, well, why isn't it in my house? Well, it got shipped to me in some weird envelope. And when I opened the envelope, I did like this and almost tore it up.
Wow. Almost tore it up.
My clearance. That was my clearance to be
Wow.
able to get my badges.
Mm-hmm.
But God, you
But
know.
God.
Mhm.
Yes.
So I'm trying to do more work like that. I really want to do more work with the assignment, but I need help. I need money. I need, to go into these countries and all this type of stuff and help the needy. It takes funds to do
Okay.
that if you want to do it on another level. You could just walk in the title or whatever, but I ain't trying to do that. I'm really trying to do this thing, you
Oh,
know?
and the countries, they don't support you like that, monetary wise.
It depends, but if you're trying to go help a country that's already poverty stricken, you
Mm-hmm.
don't really want to ask them to.
Okay.
I mean, you don't. That doesn't make sense. You're going to ask a third world country. Now, don't get
Mm-hmm.
me wrong. I've been flown all over the place, not on my own dime, into countries that flew me to particular countries or whatever. But when God places something on your heart to do to help a country, you're not trying to be a burden on those that you are going to help.
Right.
So, and the type of funds I need, I'm talking about helping major communities. I'm not
Okay.
talking about 12 people or 6 people, or, I'm talking about, I want to do some big stuff that makes a difference in somebody's life. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's really something. I didn't know what ambassadorship really meant. So thank you for explaining that and the different levels to it.
Oh yeah,
That
there's
is
different
awesome.
levels. You have
That is
some that,
awesome.
I mean, you have some that concentrate on just the politic aspect. You have some that
Mhm.
are the philanthropy. You have some like Angelina Jolie. She's an
Hmm.
ambassador to some
Oh,
countries,
okay.
and she does a lot of stuff with I think she does stuff with Africa, helping the needy or whatever. So there are different levels and different realms. You have some that live at the embassy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's what they do.
Wow.
They can't have another job. That's what they do all day long. They can't, they live there. They eat, drink, and sleep. They represent their country. They're
Wow.
working on behalf of their country. They're not necessarily going out like some of us are doing
Mm-hmm.
work, peaceful work, trying to implement stuff in other countries. They are representing just their country, trying to
Right.
for the betterment of their country. Whereas with us, with the United Nations, we're concerned about philanthropy work in 193 countries. So it's different levels and different types.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I know your younger self is very proud of you, right now. So let's talk about your book and your film that you produce. And that is called I Am She, She Is Her. That is on Tubi right now. Tell us
Mhm.
how this came about, this movie.
Okay. There is a overseer. Her name is Overseer Pastor Billy Hall. And she and I have known each other forever. We went to church together. We were in ministry together. So she came to me one day. She said, "There's these two young ladies. They really want to do a docu-film on women and creating a safe space for women."
Mm,
So she brought it to me. And so I prayed about it and said, "Lord, am I supposed to be a part of this?" And so I called up Michael Chen. Michael Chen is a film producer that I represent. As a matter of fact, we have two feature films coming out. Probably they're being edited right now. So
okay.
I don't know. Before the year's out, they'll be out. So I went to him because he has a director, eye,
Hmm.
and I shared with him this film. And so I said, you want to do it? And we were like, yeah, let's do it. And so we started writing the storyboard and writing the questions. And it's about very powerful women who have, climbed up the ladder, but have been through some things. And
Right.
other women didn't always create a safe space for them. And
Right.
other women tried to make it hard for them to excel. Other women became gatekeepers trying to stop them. And so these major women are in the docu-film, and we
Mhm.
even questioned them about how did they get from point A to point B, what was some of their most trying moments, um, give us some information as to how they were able to overcome the whole 9 yards. And it's
Mhm.
all about really being your sister's keeper, not just saying it, but being it, not
Right.
just saying it and then turning on her as soon as you walk away from her, not just saying it and gossiping about her, not just saying it and being jealous of her. And so this is what it's about. And I'm actually in it representing the entertainment arena. Now, we've been blessed. Michael and I have a distribution situation where and I need to put this out there for all you people who want to do films. God has given you a film, you aspire to do a film, you don't know how to do the film, you need help with the film. We help people develop their films, shoot their films, and we help them get distribution and even help them if they want any type of marketing and publicity.
Okay.
Um, but we're distributed in I think over 160 platforms. But I always say Tubi because everybody knows Tubi.
Yeah.
Hot right now.
Yeah. Tubi is hot, but there's still some people who don't know about Tubi. So put it out there. It's on Tubi.
That would
Tubi
be
is free, y'all.
that's too many other networks to try to name. So
Tubi is
everybody can
free.
find Tubi is free. And I
Yeah.
tell them if you don't know about it, you know about it now. Just go on and download the app on your phone.
TUBI.
Yes, on your computer because it is hot. It is
Yeah.
owned by Fox, and you have no actors that are even doing films on there.
Yeah.
And it's something to watch out for because the industry right now is not like it used to be. Hollywood is not like it used to be.
Yeah.
Networks are moving out of the United States and going to other countries. Marvel Entertainment, they had Disney and all of that, left Atlanta, Georgia, and went to London. Other
Mm.
places are so we're losing the tax incentive breaks in certain states because these networks are going going where they're getting better deals, they're getting
Mm-hmm.
better partnerships, better incentives. And so the industry in the States has changed. LA is not like it used to be. Paramount bought out BET. There is no more VH1. You feel me on all of this?
Right.
It
Yep.
is not what it used to be. And people want to still be in an old mindset of the network or whatever. There are plenty of dollars in streaming.
Right. And
Plenty.
yeah. Independent
Plenty.
filmmaking, independent. You don't have to depend on Hollywood
Do
anymore.
not. You do not.
Yes.
You get
Yes.
with a good production company like us, and we'll help
Okay.
you get your stuff out there.
I love it. Now, I really did enjoy the documentary, and it's always, that's a common thing that say when you work for a female boss, that
Mm-hmm.
they are usually the hardest. They're
Mm-hmm.
usually the most demanding, and I don't know why as women we are like that to one another. That is
Yeah,
really something.
it's true to a certain degree because like um I find out women are very difficult to deal with when it comes to me as a female apostle slash used to be pastor. They'll listen to a man quicker than they will a woman.
Hmm.
They'll call they'll respect a man and call me sister, but they won't call that bishop bro.
Mm. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And even if that person is in sin, they hold women to a higher standard with respect to the lifestyle. So it's really interesting how we could be like that with each other. And I don't know where that mentality comes from because if we were all really our sister's keeper, instead of competing with our sister, instead of backbiting, instead of talking about our sister, we could go a further way.
We could. We could
And
do
that's
get
really
so
that's
much
what the
accomplished.
documentary is about. We could go a longer way, but it's
Hmm.
just that's not how it is.
Yeah, it's so sad, but I really did enjoy the documentary. So that is on Tubi. And then now let's talk about your book.
Amen,
Yes.
somebody. I just saw that my sister Elder Tara's on here. Elder Tara, tell Anna and Talisha and all them to get on. She found us. I've been
Yeah.
texting them and calling them and everything. But yes, the book. I'm a single woman. My body has changed, my face has changed, my hair changed. Okay. Uh, the aches are different.
Okay.
I'm well over 55. So if the younger person with that question you asked me had asked me about this person, that younger person would have told you I would have had a house, a beamer, and 3 kids and
Mm,
2 horses. That's what I wanted. That's what I used to always write down. I want a house, a beamer, 3 kids, and 2 horses, and I want a farmhouse. Didn't happen.
okay.
Didn't know. My younger person would tell me, I didn't know you were gonna be single all this time. I didn't know you wouldn't have grandchildren by now.
Mm,
So the Lord has assigned me to pray on behalf of singles. I am an intercessor on behalf of those that are waiting for their mate, whether they're waiting for their man, and I don't say Boaz because Boaz is taken, or whether that man is looking for his wife. So God tells me to intercede because holidays are rough on single people. Marriages and weddings are rough on single people. Valentine's Day, though carnal, is rough on a single person. Christmas time can be rough on a single person. Thanksgiving time can be rough on a hey Jeremy can be rough on a single person. And so God said, intercede on behalf of these singles.
mm,
And so I started interceding, and I was crying out one night, and the Lord said, go to Genesis 2 and 18. He said in Genesis 2 and 18, that's where I told man he needs a helper. He had already worked and named everything that God allowed him to name, and God did not want him to be alone. He said, I am creating a help me for you. And he put him in a coma, and he said he'll take that help meet out of the ribs and form the help meet. And so God did that. And then he did that, and then that woman came to life, and the man named her, he defined her, he claimed her, he gave her the instructions. You shall be called woman, bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. You can eat this, you can do this, you cannot do this, you can't touch this. So he gave her the instructions.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, well, God, but you said he's still in a coma. I'm woke.
What?
And I said, and there's a lot of my friends that are woke. They got it going on. They bad mamma jammas,
Mm-hmm.
and they still single. And they tell me, Apostle, my body's aching. Apostle, I'm getting older. Apostle, it's hard to lose weight. Apostle, I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
All this type stuff. This just not about what I've been through.
Right.
And so the Lord told me the men did wake up. He said, but they went in a spiritual coma
Oh, wow.
because Jezebel came.
Mm.
A seducing spirit came. A Delilah spirit came, and they fell for the Delilah spirit like Samson.
Mm.
Spiritual spouses came. The spirit of manipulation came. God started defining all these demons and spirits that came to try to blind the man so he can't find his wife. Because contrary to what these women of 2026 think, or 2027, or 2028, 29, 2030, whatever it may be, that they could ask the man to marry them. Not
Yeah,
so. Out of order. So,
that's out of order.
out of order. So the man is blinded by being able to see his favor. So God said, pray, pray. And while I was praying, I said, but God, he's still in a coma. I said, God, please wake up my Adam. And the reason why I said Adam and I didn't say Boaz,
Okay.
I was not talking about Adam number one because he already was woke and he was with Eve. I was talking about a man who's striving after typology for Adam number two, who is Christ. A man who loves
Mm.
Christ, a man who's saved, a man who's holy, sanctified. I didn't say, God, wake up a perfect man because that doesn't exist. I
Right.
said, wake
Okay.
up the one that you have for me. Wake up the one who I came out of. Because, God, if you wanted me to be a eunuch and you wanted me to be a nun, you wouldn't give me the desire to be with my man.
Mm.
And so God told me, tell these women who are going through these cycles, some of them are believing I will never provide a mate for them. Some of them are tired. Some of them gave up. Some of them just saying, I'm going to do me. Hey, and I'm going to do whatever I want, day whoever I want. I'm just doing me because these men are crazy. I've heard it. I've heard it say it. Some of them
Right.
going through a
Right.
cycle of depression, whatever it may be. Hey, Talisha, you on here? That's my publisher. Some of them, so I'm just saying, some of them just saying, let me just eat till I can't eat no more. Because I had a figure and it don't matter. And so God
Right.
said we need to pray a different type of way, and that includes me. You got to fight these days. You got to fight for marriage because the spirit of delay, the enemy does not like covenant relationship. The enemy tries to derail people from seeing each other, blind people, and the
Mm.
enemy loves divorce. And so God said there's so many spiritual dynamics that are taking place right now that these women need to pray on another level, need to fast. Tell you so skinny. I'm just saying. So even with myself, God has challenged me to pray on another level. And the Lord told me that I had to birth the book single.
Mm.
He said,
In
because
order
I'm a
to
single woman.
relate. I don't know.
Because married women can't relate to what we're going through right now, this hour,
Mm-hmm.
this time. Because it's not like when they got married. It's not like 10 years ago. It's not like 15 years ago. It's not even like 5 years ago. They can't identify with the dating struggle. So God said, I had to be single. And he said, once you birthed it, guess who's going to find you? And guess
Mm-hmm.
what? Them men been coming, but some of them been jokers. And I said, God, because I don't know how to do this. I've been unsuccessful. I've been through relationships that didn't work, that caused me more headache, more depression, more grief, more sadness. I had to, you had to pray me back around, God, restore me, replenish me, redeem me, because I just was done, couldn't stop crying, didn't want to do ministry, didn't want to do any of that. So I said, God, this time you do it and you pick who I'm supposed to be with.
I like that. And I have heard that. I hear that a lot from my single friends as well. And do you think it's harder being in ministry with your status as
Yes.
yourself? Okay.
Let me put a big Y up there.
Hmm.
Because they all of a sudden assume that I want to be apostle like up in my home with my man.
Okay.
No, that may be somebody else who does that in their home. They still want to be an apostle in their home. They still want to be the leader in their home. They think they're going to run things in their home. No, that is not even my ideology. I understand why submit yourself to your husband. Husband loves your wives as Christ loved the church. I understand the chain of the command from God, the man, the woman, the children. I get all of that. And because I am a woman in ministry, in a leadership, sometimes you get prejudged. Sometimes, people, men just think you're going to be a certain type of way because you've had to be strong. Sometimes they think you're too strong. They want somebody who's weak and docile and that'll let them manipulate them, be a narcissist. Sometimes because you got some sense in your head and you've been through the ringer already and not going through there again. And they see the anointing on your life, the power of God, the presence of God, it's too much for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you may have less pickings. So this why I'm not picking nothing. God has a magnitude of pickings.
Right.
He's
right.
not limited. So I'm allowing God to send that man, that man find me working in the vineyard. I'm working in the vineyard talking to you right now. I'm working in the vineyard like Ruth did. I'm on my assignment. I'm maximizing my singleness, and I'm not trying to have an idle mindset because an idle mindset will make you depressed.
Right. Right. So you're living your life. You're living your life.
I'm living the life that God has for me to live.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's important, for people to understand as well. Live your life. And sometimes when you're not even looking, actively looking and just doing what, your assignment is, then that's when it will come. I love the title of the book. Where can people find it?
Amazon. $20. Amazon. They can also find it on Kindle. I prefer Amazon, $20. Kindle's only $3.99.
Okay.
And they can get it from me too. They can order it from me and I'll write in their book, but it's just going to take a little longer to get to you from me because I hate going to the post office. I hate it. I hate it. I got bags of stuff I need to mail out now to some people. Elder Tara's on here. She'll tell you I hate it. But some of my stuff is still like I'm old school with. Like I still mail my car note out with. They don't have it electronically with me.
Mm-hmm.
My HOA.
So you
it's
still
probably late now because I hate going to the post office. I'm like, HOA, do something electronically. Cardinal, do something electronically. I have to take that little stub and go to the post office. So they can get it from me, but it may take a minute. So I don't want them to think they buy it and they're going to have it in 2 days. Might take me a week. Amazon will get it to you in 2 days. But get the book. Right. Get the book. It's nothing like the book. Having that hard copy.
I love it. And so she gave you all the disclaimer. If you want the book from her, she will write a nice message for you and mail it off. It's just going to take a while, but that's
and
okay.
You get a gift.
And you get a gift.
Okay. You get a gift. And I write however the Lord tells me to write. Nobody's book is the same. Even when I go out and because I'm on a book tour right now. Okay. Yesterday I was at CBN TV Network, the home of the 700 Club. As I said, they treated me good, flew me in, fed me, put me in a hotel, phenomenal interview that will go all over the globe with the host Muiwa, who flew in from London.
That nice.
You hear me? So I'm on this book tour, but in going to the book tour and meeting and greeting with people is phenomenal. May the 16th, I'm going to be in Columbia, South Carolina at the Black Expo. My assistant, Elder Tara, is on here. She's going to be with me, and she helps me. And we find ourselves at the table praying with people.
I love it.
I told her, she was praying one time, and the Lord said, that's why y'all here. He said, the Bible says your gift shall make room for you. The Lord said, and I just taught her this last night, and will put you before great men. And it also expand your territory. I just taught her this out the book of Proverbs. And so the Lord said, I was watching her pray one day, and the Lord said, this is why you're here. You to lead people to me. I'm going to open up the platform. Your book is going to take you to places you never could imagine. And the reason why I have to talk about the movie and the book at the same time is because it's a double miracle. They came out. around the same time, because it's
Okay.
a double miracle. Because my mom had passed, she was my editor,
Mm,
and when she died, I didn't want to write anymore.
okay.
I didn't want to do movies. I didn't want to write. I didn't want to do magazines, books. I didn't want to do anything that was legible, anything with my talents. I shut it
Mm,
down, put it
mm,
in the storage. Literally, I got 8 books that I had to pull. I got them over in this crate. I had to pull them out one of my storages that I was working on at that time. And so it took a lot for me to write again. So this is a double miracle. And the publisher, Talisha, she kept calling me and calling me, calling me, asking me to write in all these anthologies. And I told her, I said, I don't write no more. And she kept calling me and calling me, calling me. And she said, Apostle, I'm at deadline. I need your writing. I said, I don't care. She said, well, the book was supposed to have been printed. I'm at deadline. The Lord used her to get whatever spirit that was on me
mm-hmm.
off of me, because I just was done.
Yeah.
So she said, well, did the Lord tell you to not write anymore?
Mm,
And I went in prayer. I said, let me pray about it. It took me about 4 days to get back in touch with her. Now, somebody else would have jumped at that opportunity.
mm-hmm.
And I said, well, God said I could write. So it went from writing in one anthology, writing a chapter, writing a forward to another anthology, to writing somebody's life story. I still wasn't writing for
Mm,
me. This is the this is the first book since I stopped writing books that I wrote that was really for Veryl Howard and not me writing somebody else's book. This is the first one since my mama has passed.
nice.
And God
Nice.
said, you don't shut down no gift I put inside of you. You better
Yeah.
write.
You were going through things, and I'm glad that everything worked together, and you're able to get back to your gift, and so that's good. That's a blessing. So we got your movie, we got your film and your book. What's next for you, and how, and tell everyone where they can find you and what's next on your list.
You got a second? Because I'm going to show you something to make you laugh. I got to reach on the table. I want to make you laugh. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm going to reach on the table. I should have had it with me. But I want to make you laugh.
We're glad. Make us laugh.
I'm
And
going to
while
make
we're
you laugh.
waiting, we want
Carla,
everybody
this
to
is
go
what,
and
Carla,
subscribe.
I haven't done this for any other interview. And Lord knows I've done a lot of interviews. So this is the first, Carla. You want to know what's next for me?
What's next? Wait a minute. What is it? I can't even see it.
You can't see that big rock.
Oh,
That's
I
a
see.
ring.
Okay, you claiming it now. You're gonna get that
Yes, you see that ring
big
on my
old
ring.
rock.
You see that ring on my ring finger. Look.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Now I can see it. I can
You
see
see
that.
it?
I can see that.
Girl, that's a
Yes,
big
yes.
rock. You can see, I don't know what state you in right now, but you should be able to see this from DC, Maryland, all the way to where you are.
Now see, you intimidating the men. They say I can't
No, I'm
compete
not
with that.
intimidating the men. I'm not intimidating the men. No, the devil is a liar. This is a symbolic piece of what God is going to do for me. And if a man is intimidated because I put up a symbolic piece, he's not for me, because that's an Ahab spirit. I don't need a weak man. I
Okay.
need a man that can lead and guide me, that I could submit to, that I could trust with the vision for us for the household. So this ring, you said, what's next?
Yeah.
This is symbolic for what's next.
Okay. Well, I am touching and agreeing with you. And we are so glad that you joined us today. I enjoyed that was a great laugh. It was a great ending to this awesome interview. Thank you for being so transparent, for letting God use you to tell your story, to bless others and inspire others, and show that you could be surviving and now thriving. And we appreciate you so much, so much. We're gonna go check out. I want everybody to check out the film on Tubi, check out the book on Amazon, and we're gonna be getting ready for the wedding bells pretty soon. So
Yes. And Carla, I gotta say one more thing, because I promised God, and
yes.
and he brought it back to my remembrance. I promised God with every interview, I would say to whoever's watching, do you know the Lord Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? Because the Bible says in Romans 10:9, if you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart you shall be saved. And I want to offer Jesus Christ, the Yeshua, the Savior that woke me up this morning. I want to offer him to you today.
Yes, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And we acknowledge that. Yes, thank you for being obedient because somebody needed to hear that today. And if they have questions and they want to contact you or get prayer, it's okay if they call that number that Sister Tara Smith Hughes has put on the screen.
If they want, she put two numbers. One of them is faith management and talent. And that number is the first one, 910-644-1824. They can call that number. That's also the number to book the national recording artist that I represent, because, I've been in the music business for 32 years. If they want prayer or anything like that, or they want to book me to come preach, she put up a second number, which is 919-924-2313. Because when the first number isn't answered, it rolls into the second number, because the second number is on the answer machine of the first number. So she put that up if anybody wants me to come to their community, do a film workshop, to come pray, preach, show them how to do a book workshop, any of those things. They could call any of those numbers. And if they need prayer, Elder Tar is actually over our prayer vigil. We do with a plethora of prayer warriors every Monday night from all over the globe. And we pray for people. We've seen all types of miracles and everything. So they can call us.
Amen. That is awesome. Thank you for pouring out yourself, your gifts to everyone. And we got to have you back because we're going to have you back and your artist, and your husband, we got to have you back either way it goes because we want to hear more about your artists that you represent and also have them on so they can sing.
I just finished talking to the one about 6 times a day that I've been with the longest, which is Dietrich Haddon. Mm-hmm. And he calls me his daughter, even though he's younger than I am. But we've been together a long time, and we're committed to each other's ministry. So he's one of the artists that I've worked with for a very long time. But I have several. Ashford Saunders from Sunday Best, who did Millions, didn't make it, who's a testimony, living on dialysis now for 13 years. And that's unheard
of. Wow.
Unheard of. Oh, yeah. And they had given him a kidney last year. He coded twice. And God rose him up and kept him. And presently right now, he's been selected to be on America's Got Talent. So you're going to start seeing a lot of him on TV with respect to that. But I have a lot of them. Joe Kidd with all the big hair. Yeah. She had the number one song, Yahweh, and Let Him In. Titus Showers. He had a couple of number ones songs. Yeah. Yeah. I work with a lot of them, either in booking, marketing.
Yes. Mm-hmm. We got to have y'all back. You got to come back because we want to hear all about it. We want to hear their journeys as well. So, Apostle Dr. Veryl Howard, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Heart Nation, thank you so much. And you all stay blessed. And we'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.